ever happen. All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Jumping the Rail podcast here on the JTR Podcast Network. This is Richard Wobman. I am the OTP, the one true Podigy, coming to you live from the Noodles position in Terre Haute, Indiana. And I am joined, as always, by my buddy Matters. Matters, how we doing today?
How's it going, Wab, man?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm doing so good. Here's the most important question that I need to ask you at the top of this, because we know the date, April 1st, April Fool's. Did you fall for anything this year?
I have not. What about yourself?
Man, I got to tell you, I think I did. Because we got some friends over there at Mad Bash Wrestling. They made an announcement today, and I don't know if it's actually what's going on or if they pulled a fast one on us, but I think there's a new Mad Bash Wrestling champion, brother.
I seen that. The Tiger.
Yeah.
So many lefts, you gotta wish for a right.
Yes. Shout out to apparently the new Mad Bash Wrestling champion. He is Bill the Tiger Thomas, apparently over there at Mad Bash Wrestling. So, yeah, crazy stuff.
You never know what Dickie Wabash or Michael Madrox think when going into this stuff.
No, and you really don't know. I mean, hey, I'm telling you, nothing looks different. This is a wonderful evening here tonight, here on Jumping the Rail. Just a wonderful evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here. This has been great. Matters, before we really get into it, we got some news for everyone. You know, we love to break the news here. Don't forget, no one forget, Squared Circle Expo month here on Jumping the Rail. There you see it right there. Look at the names that are going to be featured. You got Jack Vaughn, Heather Owens, Mr. International himself, Jake Oman, Jeremiah Plunkett. Here's the thing. This is all starting this week, mind you, because on the Patreon at the $5 tier, interview with Jack Vaughn is going to be available over on the JTR Podcast Patreon. You can't beat that with a stick.
That's a big interview.
That's a huge interview, man. He took TikTok superstar, wrestling superstar. He's going to be on that interview, but don't worry. For those of you that aren't on the Patreon, which, why aren't you? You should be. You're going to be getting that later this week on Thursday as a bonus podcast. But that's not all. Like we said, we saw the wonderful names of all the people that are going to be on here this month. But next week, we got Toby Hope is going to be on here as a vendor at the expo this year. And he's going to fill us in on what guests he's bringing. And I'm sure that conversation is going to go all sorts of different directions, Matters.
Every direction you can think of. Square Circle Expo. It just grows and grows and gets better and better.
Who are you most excited for at Squared Circle? I think
Jack Vaughn. Jack Vaughn.
Jack Vaughn. I thought you were going to say Raven in honor of Michael Madrox.
No, it can't be Raven. It's got to be Jack Vaughn because we just did the interview with him, and you know me. I like stirring the pot.
Yeah, great. Great interview with Jack Vaughn on that one, and you definitely did stir the pot on that one, as you are wont to do. But okay, Matters. I think it's time to check your brain.
Guess the wrestler?
Think it's time to name that wrestler. All right, Matters. You know how this works. I'm going to show you a wrestler. You're going to guess who it is. That's easy enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Simple.
So, just want to let you know before we get into this, a little bit of a clue for you. This is a current wrestler.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
Do my best.
All right. See if you can name this wrestler.
That
Do you
baby
need any
face,
clues?
those squishy cheeks. That has to be the Bud Light brawler, Dalton Davis.
You are absolutely correct. That is the Bud Light brawler, Dalton Davis. We had to dig through the archives on that one to find old Dalton. You know, we gotta bust the chops of Dalton every so often. You know what I mean? I didn't know that he was. I did a little bit that he played a little bit of football, but man, he looked. Bari, how you doing? Hope that you're doing well today. We got a good show lined up here. But yeah, Dalton Davis. Yeah, we had to go with Dalton Davis, man. Hybrid Midwest champion. You know what I mean? You know, and I
Doing big
hear
things.
he is doing big things. And I hear that one of the big things that he's got going on, our friends over at Mad Bash Wrestling, he's going to be facing Trauma Unit's own Chris O'Brien coming up April 3rd.
Ooh.
That's going to be an interesting one. I believe that's the first time that those two have ever locked horns
One-on-one.
one. Yeah, I know that a few years ago they've been in a couple tag matches like DC Black versus Dalton Davis and I don't remember who, but yeah, I know that they've definitely locked horns before. So that's going to be
Yes.
interesting. That's going to be very interesting.
And
But
with
yeah, of
both of
course,
them coming off of injuries and now back in the ring at the same time.
yeah, that'll
Adds
be
a new
interesting.
element.
It does. It really does because I mean, you know, Dalton is still trying to get back into the swing of things. You know, Chris has been back a little bit longer than Brian or Chris has been back a little bit longer than Dalton has. So that's going to be interesting to see how those two mesh in the ring. You know what I mean?
Who's your money on, Wildman?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know, we do love Trauma Unit here, but I got to go with the Bud Light Brawler, man. I got to go with the Bud Light Brawler. And not just because he was the name the wrestler this week, but just because I think that Dalton's going to be able to pull that victory out at Mad Bash Wrestling / New Version Wrestling Level 4 coming up April 13th in Danville, Illinois. I'm excited for that one.
I'm very excited.
Are you just excited? I mean, I'm just excited in general. I'm just excited to be here with you tonight. This is a lot of fun.
Already. I mean, level 4's also got Oliver Kane versus Zach Abstract.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Clayton Clark. We got Clayton Clark versus Kendall Fire, and I see that Clayton Clark is in the chat here. Shout out to the old Clydesdale himself, New Version Wrestling heavyweight champion.
He's been tearing it up.
He has been, but you know, speaking of tearing it up, we got Colby Jack is going to be defending the Mad Bash Wrestling Championship against Jason Levi. That's going to be a good one. Tons of other matches are going to be going on that show. If you guys aren't there, you're really going to be missing out. That is absolutely going to be a fun one. But, you know, Matters, we got some business that we need to tend to here real quick.
Oh, do we now?
Yep, because it wouldn't be jumping the rail if we didn't give our Hoots and Judies of the week. And I think that we hop into that right now. What do you say?
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it. We got to make it happen. It is a staple. It is a benchmark bit of jumping the rail. And I think that I'm going to start it off here with my hoot, my good hoot of the week. You know, there's been a lot going on this week in professional wrestling, the world of professional wrestling. And something that this man did this week has really stuck with me. And that is why my hoot of the week brother, his dream is finally coming true. He gets to main event WrestleMania. Pepsi Phil, CM Punk is my hoot of the week. My
Good choice. Good choice.
word. The emotion that he showed during that contract signing on SmackDown when they made the announcement of, hey, you're going to get to main event WrestleMania. The tears in his eyes. The tears in his eyes. Now, here's my thing about this. Do you think that that was a shoot that he did not know? Or do you think he's just a good actor? Because listen, I've seen the horror movie that he was in. The name of it escapes me. He's not that good of an actor. Even though he's my hoot of the week. I got it. I got caught like it is.
I don't know. It's hard telling with WWE anymore. Do they really want to kayfabe one of their top stars like that, though?
I don't think so. I don't think they would. I really don't think they would. I think that it's just, maybe he is a good actor. Maybe I'm wrong. Girl on the Fifth Floor. That's the name of it. That's the name of it. Girl on the Fifth Floor. Couldn't remember the name of that movie. Our Reb and Menders. This is just a good night to be here. It's just a really good night to be here and enjoy. Just a fun night here on Jumping the Rail, Sean. We'll talk about that later. So my question for you now, Matters. Who's your hoot of the week?
We're going to flip the table, and I'm not talking about the head of the table. I'm talking about Seth freaking Rollins.
Wow, that's a good one. That absolutely is a good one because I think that I know my reasoning of why he should be your hoot, but I'm curious what your reasoning is, and then I can go into mine. I think he's a good choice.
My reasoning is the character he is playing right now is so over-the-top petty that he doesn't even care that he's the main event of WrestleMania. He cares that CM Punk is included in the main event of WrestleMania. That is character work, sir. And I'm big on character and psychology.
That's a good question there that was just asked. If that's not the favor, what do you think the favor is? What could it possibly be?
It could be anything at this point. The better question is, do you think we're going to find out the favor at WrestleMania?
That's a good question. I don't know. Because you really would think that, the favor was that he wanted to be in the main event of WrestleMania, but then he says, no, this isn't the favor. So it could be anything, man. I don't think it's going to be something as simple as, I want a title match. I don't think it's going to be something that simple. I think, but then at the same time, like, what else could it be? I don't really know. It could be anything at this rate. It could be anything at this rate. But
honestly, I have a feeling it's going to be a turn on Roman with Heyman.
Ooh, yeah, it could be.
What else could it be at that point?
I don't know, but the big prevailing theory is that we are going to see Heyman join Rollins, but who knows?
That would be an interesting pairing.
I mean, we do have the whiteboard here. Who really is using who at this point? You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many different scenarios that we could go with. And that's the thing. There's only limited room on this board. Brother, I got 5 more of these things that I'm trying to figure out and that, at the end of the day, Matters. That's a live shot of me in the studio trying to figure it out. At the end of the day, that is exactly what makes the road to WrestleMania so exciting. And dare I say that we have not had a road to WrestleMania this exciting in quite a long time.
There's definitely a lot of pit stops along the way on this road to WrestleMania.
Yeah. With a few pit stops along the way, as our friend Dickie Wabash likes to say from time to time. So our hoots, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, poor Roman Reigns. He didn't get mentioned there, but I think that he's honorary in this one. You know what I mean? Because I think that you could honestly take every single person that was involved in that segment and call them the Hoot, because I mean they just did. It was just a really good segment. Really good segment.
Yes.
Let's go on to Judy's. I'm going to start with this one. This one might come out of left field. My good Judy of the week, Madrox, I got to go with Kairi Sane. And here is why I am going with Kairi Sane. Have you been on Instagram within the last few days or so?
No.
Of course. Thank you for leaving me hanging. Allow me to explain.
If I wasn't honest, I would not be jumping the rail.
Yeah, fair. So Kairi Sane, I'm not going to say that she broke the internet, but she started posting like her fitness regimen and like the shape that she has gotten in. And it's just like, my God, like she's really never been one that has fully shown off like what she does to work out or whatever. And it was very impressive.
Private.
To that degree, yes. To that degree. And man, I was really impressed with what I saw. So yeah, I got to give a shout out to Kairi on that one. She definitely is. I heard Dickie Wabash's house was invaded yesterday. I hope he's okay. I've not talked to Dickie Wabash today. Hopefully he's doing fine. I'll have to get a hold of him later and be sure that he's doing it. So we'll see. But Madrox, here's my question for you. Not Madrox. I'm thinking Mad Bash now. You're Matters. My fault. Judy of the week. Who you got?
See, I'm going something completely off the wall and hoping it sticks because I'm going with Michin.
Michin.
Yes, Michin.
That, might I ask why? Because that one is very unexpected, to say the least.
Because currently in the women's division,
yeah,
we have not only 2 women's champions, now they have the U.S. champion, the Intercontinental, and the tag. All these women are dying for spots.
Not including NXT.
Not including NXT. I'm just talking main roster.
Yeah.
All these women are out here fighting and dying for spots. And she gets to go out there and get beat down and then do a job match and collect an easy paycheck. She is the JTG of the women's division. Tell me I am wrong.
I want to.
She's a great talent. She'll do anything that's asked of her. But at this point, she's collecting, brother.
Oh, good for her. For
yes.
finding her spot. Yeah. Doing the old road dog in the Royal Rumble where you grab the bottom rope and just hold on for dear life.
I just hope they don't catch her with the talent releases like they did JTG 13 hours later. Just throwing that out there.
How long was JTG? What was the actual figure of where he was still signed, but he didn't have a match? Do we remember this at all?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Was years. Like literal years. And I think there was a Twitter account. I might be making this up. This might be headcanon. I don't know. But I think there was something where it was like X amount of days since JTG has been on screen. Yeah, I love that. So
I know personally on my Facebook, I was counting down the day of all the releases. I was like, woo, no JTG. Woo, JTG's still safe. And then it finally happened. I was heartbroken.
Now, here's a hot take. Do you agree with this take? Michin should have beaten Chelsea for the title. What do you think about that one, Matters?
She could have used it, but I think Chelsea Green is more of the star where it's actually meaning something and she has a story behind her to put the title on her. I feel like if Michin would have won, she would have dropped it in 2 weeks and no one would have really cared.
It's the old proverbial saying that we have heard a million times, and that is the person makes the belt doesn't make the person. And I think Chelsea Green has done an incredible job as the women's U.S. champion. Incredible.
Absolutely. Now she's got little kids dressing up like her.
That's how you know you're over. That's how you
Yes.
know you're over. You know, Dickie Wabash was telling me one time that he actually would have people dress up like there was a couple people that would dress up as him and come to shows back in the old UWC Battle Zone. So that's how he knew he was over. Oos. All righty, my
That or they
brother.
were just Ellen DeGeneres fans.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, matters with a hoot and a Judy. There you go. With a hoot and a Judy comes one simple thing, and that's a stooge. There's always got to be a stooge. And look, we've got quite the lineup here. You know, shout out to TK. You know, Cena kind of put him on blast or, on Raw last night.
Yes.
But there's a stooge that we got to talk about. And stooge of the week, he was known because he drop kicked the Undertaker out of the ring. We're going with
this
Maven.
is why he quit becoming friends with Randy Orton.
Yes, Randy Orton is the reason that all of this happened. When I drop kicked the Undertaker. No, here's the thing. We're being a little bit rough on Maven. Good for Maven because he has cracked the code of YouTube clickbait. And the reason that we have got to put Maven as the stooge is for this simple reason. Did you see his most recent video?
The Just Incredible one?
So clickbaity. So clickbaity. He literally, the thumbnail is Just Incredible opening the door and looking shocked, and like Maven, like Chris Hansen, like approaching him in a way. And probably the first time that comparison's ever been made. I love it. Jump at the rail, baby. Let's go. Yeah, brother. And then, so you're like, oh man, he's going to say something to this motherfucker. Like he's actually going to. And then the video starts and he's like, hey, PJ, do you mind if we step in here and talk for a minute? And then he's like, hey, just so you know, I'm going to ask you some rough questions. I turned off the video.
It's like, why?
I turned it off. And like, I can respect the hustle in a certain degree. But at the same time, it's like, Maven, what are you doing? And Maven, the reason that I think that he deserves these stooge honors is because of him. Now, every wrestler from the Ruthless Aggression era now feels the need to have a YouTube channel. And some of them are good. Some of them are bad. But
a lot of them are becoming more clickbait, though.
A lot of them are becoming very clickbaity. I absolutely agree with you on that one. And that definitely appears to be the issue with this, is that it's, it is what it is. But, the funny thing about Just Incredible is that, not too long ago, you got to go back and listen to previous interviews with Just Incredible that have been here on Jumping the Rail. It wasn't gotcha piece. And then, like Maven was trying to do in any way, but, decent enough interviews, with Just Incredible. There's an entire backlog of these Jumping the Rails that you can go check out. You know what I mean?
Where can we find those at?
Oh, you can find those on all the podcasting platforms, brother. Every single podcasting platform. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Podcast. Insert every other podcasting platform, because there's so many that you sometimes forget. One of my personal favorite ones was the interview with Dickie Wabash that happened last year. That was a fun one.
I really like that one.
Yeah, it was really good. That was, Dickie is always good to have on the podcast. And we hope to have him and Madrox back on at some point soon. I'm sorry. Something just really,
Maven knocking at your window.
Yeah, a little bit. Some of his stories leave terrible thoughts in your heads. Yeah. I'm assuming that we're still talking about Just Incredible on that one, or are we talking about Dickie Wabash? Because Dickie Wabash is a storyteller.
I think whoever that was, they were talking about Maven.
Okay, yeah. Maven, Yeah, I could spend the entirety of the rest of this podcast talking about Maven, but I may save that for when we get back to Spot Show.
I just want to say, Maven
Broke the fourth
is
wall.
like the polar opposite in reverse, like bizarro world of Kevin Nash and IKEA.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think Maven is.
Yeah. Oh, she was talking about Just Incredible. Oliver got Wobman. Yeah, Oliver was on Jumping the Rail. Go check out that interview as well. Plug them all. Yeah, so we said Hoots, Judy, Stooge. We got CM Punk. We got Seth Rollins, Michin, Kairi Sane, and the Stooge has got to be Maven. So add Maven to Mount Stooge more. You know what I mean? But
that could be a t-shirt.
That could be. That would be a good t-shirt, You can go to prowrestlingtees.com/JTR. Look at that. I know how to get the plugs in. I've done this a time or two in my day. Matters, we really do have a lot that we need to talk about here. And we've just kind of been going with the vibe here. And I have a topic that I want to get into. But before we do, there is an important matter that needs to take place here. And I think matters, the matter. We got terrible. It's the first of the month. And you know what that means. It's time for the JTR Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's time for the Hall of Fame induction. You see it. You saw it. Look at those names. Those names that were rolling across there. We saw that Terry Funk. Happy Terry Tuesday, everyone, by the way. It is, in fact, Terry Tuesday. And don't forget Funk It Friday. That's coming up. But Madrox, look, here's the thing. Those names that were on there, incredible names. I'm not, I saw Hogan, saw Devon Dudley, I saw Bray Wyatt, the late great Bray Wyatt, of course Terry Funk, so many great names. Jay Briscoe was on there, But this month, we are going to be adding a name specifically to the extreme wing of the JTR Hall of Fame. And it is none other than the cigarette smoking, beer swinging, hardcore icon, brother. I'm talking about Sandman is officially in the JTR Hall of Fame.
Long overdue.
Sandman, and we see, look at this. We got Hardcore Hack right here. A staple of the WCW hardcore division, if I dare say so myself.
And Raven's therapist.
And yes, it's true. Here's the thing about. Yeah, I know he cut me off with the music, Mindy. Sandman is one of those guys that I believe it's in the Forever Hardcore documentary, where they're talking. Just look at him. That is a peak athlete if I have ever seen one.
The body of a drunken uncle.
He's the best. Here's the thing about Sandman. I was going to say, I think it's the Forever Hardcore documentary where they talk about Sandman. And I want to say it's Jerry Lynn. It's not Jerry Lynn. Might be Kid Cash. Says that Sandman got in there with no wrestling ability, but he was still able to captivate the audience, and they loved him so much. Sandman is unironic.
Once he lost the wetsuit.
Once he was fair. Once he got away, just let Hack be Hack. So I came to the ring, back to the forever hardcore. Now look, there he is. That's what I'm talking about there. Look at that. Todd is God. Todd is God. Todd is God. Look at that, man. You know what I mean? I mean, just Sandman is so deserving of this honor because Sandman, all joking aside, because we're being a little facetious here, but like, let's be real here for a minute. In terms of connecting with a crowd, who better than Sandman?
Short list.
Very short list. Very short list. And I mean, I think that one of I'm not going to say it's a regret because it's something that I can't help. One thing that I wish that I could do, if I had a time machine, I would go back in time, sit in the ECW arena while Sandman is making his entrance to enter Sandman in the ECW arena. And then right there, this picture right here is the definition of the Sandman. And
Yes.
I wish that this was animated because I got to tell you, this moment right here, hands down, not just the fact that he is treating the Singapore cane as a phallic object, but this whole atmosphere. I remember Tommy Dreamer, coming to the ring and he's standing and I can act out the whole thing because I've watched One Night Stand a lot in my life. He's doing this whole thing. Calm down. Calm down. And then Joey Styles goes, and for Tommy Dreamer, this is his last hurrah. Like, what's that mean? Did you just try to retire Tommy Dreamer, Joey? I'm doing deep cut references right here. And they wanted this. They wanted this. And then all of a sudden, dum 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 dum, and then everyone is, well, what the fuck? Oh yes, when he poured the beer on Elektra and she was in the front row and that whole interest, the crowd's going ape shit. And we've talked about network dubs and how network dubs have ruined so many things in wrestling. That is a moment that has been ruined by the proverbial network dub.
Yes. You got to watch the original. Nothing can compare to it.
And I don't even know how you would. I mean, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. That beer do be cold, though. That beer do be cold. But yeah, Sandman, welcome to the JTR Hall of Fame. I mean, just look at this man. Like, he's actually in some pretty solid shape there, brother. Like, I'm not gonna besmirch this man.
No, he's always taking care of himself. Look at that. How many guys can pull that look off?
I don't know, but that photo is hanging in my living room. And I salute it every morning when I wake up because that's the man that I strive to be. That man right there. Okay, Hack. So what we're going to do, we're going to go out to a field, right? And you're going to wear the Budweiser tank top. I have the egg. Wait, hang on.
Here we go. I know what he's grabbing.
Hell yeah. So he always signs this photo in the same spot then, apparently. Don't talk yet. I can't hear you. I don't have my headphones on. Give me a minute.
Okay.
I was going to say, you're almost as bad as Michael Madrox with vamping while Dickie Wabash is
You told me not to talk.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, I mean, who... People always talk about the Zubaz look, but I think Sandman rocked Zubaz better. Who better? Canyon. You could say who better than Canyon, but I dare say matters that we should start saying who better than Sandman. Who better?
It's
a lot, but Sandman, Mazel Tov, welcome to the JTR Hall of Fame. The honor is all mine. The honor is all matters. You will be receiving your gift card and plaque in the mail in 2 business days.
The first professional wrestler to defeat a zombie on live TV for your safety.
Well, now hold on, dude. Are we sure that that's the first time that a wrestler defeated a zombie?
Yes.
on live television.
Yes.
You seem very certain about that, but I don't know, brother.
Who else?
WCW do be weird though. They can't
They
afford. There
never had
will
his
in
off
fact
be.
be there will be a certificate and a gift card to the Ponderosa Steakhouse coming to Sandman allegedly. But yeah, man, Sandman Hall of Fame. And you know what? I think he should be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
There's
Imagine
a
that.
lot of ECW originals that need to be in there.
Oh. Well, that's going to do it for the Hall of Fame segment. Sandman is now in the extreme wing. Well deserved. But matters. There's something that we need to talk about here. There has been a lot of hubbub online as of late. And it ties into our hoots and Judies a little bit. Our hoots specifically. There has been a big kerfuffle on the internet about the fact neither one of the Royal Rumble winners are main eventing either night of WrestleMania. And the one that I am seeing people most upset about is Jey Uso. What do you think?
Personal opinions? What's going to draw more money?
Just say the opinions of Michael Madrox do not necessarily.
Who's Michael Madrox?
I don't know. You look like someone I know. The opinions of matters do not necessarily reflect that of the JTR Podcast Network.
Who's going to draw more money? Who's going to sell more tickets? Sorry, Jey Uso and Gunther, but Cody versus Cena, that's a once-in-a-lifetime marquee match.
Yeah.
CM Punk, Rollins, and Reigns. I mean, come on, guys. And everyone's sick of Charlotte.
Yeah. And she's already, I mean, okay.
She's been there. She's been there. She's got her moment.
I'm trying to figure out how hard I want to go on Jey Uso right now. Because, brother, it's there. I am going to make a prediction here. I have a feeling that they originally planned. No, now that I'm thinking it, I was about to say it. I don't think the plan was ever to put Jey Uso in the main event. I don't think it ever was. There was
a last minute change.
Okay, I'm being told to let loose right now. I am being told that I can let loose right now. Jey Uso does not deserve to be in the spot that he is in. I'm sorry. He's a failed experiment. Jey Uso is always going to be a tag team guy. He's not a draw. I'm sorry. He's a catchphrase wrestler. That's all he's ever going to be. And the fact after that him and Jimmy shit the bed at WrestleMania last year, the fact that they still are trying with Jey Uso, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Dummy.
See?
Yeah. Dummy. Yeah.
Eli Drake agrees with me.
He moves merchandise. That's all they're worried about.
However, does that translate to ticket sales?
They think it will, but it's not working out for him.
So that's why they're not putting him in the main event. I'm sorry. I mean,
they already are announcing this is like the lowest ticket sales WrestleMania has had since God knows whenever. Like, what else can you expect to sell it out? Like, if your ticket sales are that low, and you got these two bigger marquee matches, you think putting main event Jey Uso in the main event is going to sell more tickets? No.
Yeah. When is the last time? You would think I would have been prepared for this. When do you think? And Easter Sunday. That's the very good point. It's going to be on Easter. When was the last time that a WrestleMania main eventer didn't, or no, sorry, that a Royal Rumble winner, excuse me, didn't main event WrestleMania. And maybe Chad can help me out on that one, because thinking back, it had to be the Mania where Roman wrestled Taker, no? Because that was main.
Trying to think.
It had to be that one. Who won Rumble that year? I have no clue, but I'm pretty sure that it's been a while since a WrestleMania main event has not been a Royal Rumble.
Here's the question.
Oh, I got an answer.
Does Jay win at Mania?
I sure hope not.
Like, which direction do they go? Do they put him over just so they can get that one video clip of the crowd eating with him? Or is the fact that it's a WrestleMania and it's not just going to be a hometown crowd and you're going to get people all over the world, is it going to be the internet base where they're going to turn their back on him if he wins?
I don't think Jey Uso is ever going to have go-home heat. Because there has been people, hang on, wasn't it Brock and Seth when they opened the show? Because that might have been the Taker Roman match that I'm talking about here. That might have been that year. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. No, I didn't. I found it. The thing with Jey Uso is that it's like I said, he doesn't have the go-home heat yet. So I don't think that we're going to – what's a better visual? And this is really what they got to look at.
Yeah.
Because like you said, yes, WrestleMania in 2019 with Taker versus Roman at 33 in 2016. Yes. Okay. So we're – either way. I'm not used to a live chat when I'm doing the podcast. You get distracted.
We do this every week.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My fault. You talked about, the visual of like, I'm the champion. But what's going to be the bigger visual, hypothetically, to end night one? Jey Uso yeeting with everyone, or the winner of that triple threat match standing tall with Paul Heyman in their corner? Because I do think whoever wins that match, Paul Heyman's going to be in their corner. I think it's a bigger story. I will say this. I am going to say this. The attack on Jimmy Uso made me care a little bit more about this match because he made it personal. And that visual of him just, I stand Gunther. He's the man. And that's where I got to separate the mark in me from like the actual being able to break down of wrestling, is that it's like, yeah, Gunther is awesome in this title run, and I don't want to see him lose to Jey Uso. I just don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just remembered. Nakamura is the last time that a Royal Rumble winner did not main event WrestleMania. Him and AJ.
Mm-hmm.
And that match shit the bed. Everyone was so excited for that match, and then it got there, and it was like, So then now here's my question. Here's my question to you, because the wording says whoever wins gets to main event WrestleMania. So do you
technically you don't have to be last to be the main event?
That is fair. The AJ Nakamura match at Wrestle Kingdom is one of my favorite matches. Yes, that was a very good match. But I agree with you. Gunther finally got his balls back. He can't lose them now. Yes, agreed. So they're making Gunther look like a real threat again. So that's what's going on. But yes, back to your point. I do agree with you. Just because it's, WrestleMania 19 had 4 main events as they classified it.
Yeah.
It was McMahon, Hogan.
How many WrestleManias have you seen where the main event was the worst match? One of the worst matches.
A few. The one that comes to mind most recently was Roman and Trips. Stinker match. And then Roman and Taker wasn't good either. Poor
LT
Roman.
and Bigelow.
No, you will not talk bad about LT. Oh, Sid and Hogan. Yeah, that one. How could we forget about that one? That was the famous. That was
Hogan's had a lot of those.
Hogan's had a lot of those. Yeah, yeah, brother. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the WrestleMania 1 main event holds up, but brother, it ain't great. It ain't great. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think that's one thing that I thought was going to be gone when Vince left and Triple H took over was the forcing down the throat of like, no, we're going to make this work. And Jey Uso's just not working.
No.
Uso's not working. What do you think it is? Why do you think it is that's not clicking? Or do you even, I mean, is there an answer?
I don't know, because it's just our opinions. Like, we've been around the business. We know the business. That's why we classify him as a tag team wrestler. But like these little kids and stuff, buying his glasses, buying his foam fingers, like they're the ones that really matter. So maybe we're wrong.
I've been wrong before. Not often, but I've been wrong before. So then, because I think the whole idea. So then, let's talk more into the women's side of things. They're not getting to main event either. Everyone's focused on Jey Uso, but also the women aren't getting to main event either. Barry has this to say. He says, "I feel like Finn and Edge could have been better."
Absolutely.
Yes, that match got hindered by the fact that Balor got split and he had to get the staples. I think, and look, I'm a Balor fan and an Edge fan. Sorry, Cope. I'm a Cope fan. And I think Balor should have been the one that won that match. And I think that that's what hurts that match is that people look back on, oh, well, the wrong guy won. And it's like, well, yeah, you're not wrong. The wrong guy won. And I feel like that takes away from it. I can't cope with the name change. Not many people can. Not many people can cope with it. But so back to do you think that there is any part of you where you think that Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte should be in the main event?
No. None at all.
There's really
no excitement about it. It just feels like a throwaway match.
Yeah. And that sucks because Tiffany Stratton is so good. And you know that they're just feeding her to Charlotte. And it's like, why do we have to continue to do this? I don't understand it.
Because they're about to make her daddy mad.
You really think that's what it is?
Guaranteed.
They're definitively the opener for night 2, or are you making that prediction? Because I have not. If it is the opener of night 2 confirmed, I have not heard that. But I agree that would be a good spot. Would be an opener for night 2 for them. I feel like because the world title last year was the opener for night 2. Yeah. People weren't bitching about that. People weren't bitching about Rollins and McIntyre not being the main event.
Nope.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just why it's okay. Let's see what we got here. Tiffany versus Charlotte will be good though. I keep hoping Gunther will squash Jay in 5 seconds, but I know that. Okay. So I'm going to address both those points. I don't think it'll be a 5-second squash. I think that's too much. But if they want to do the, oh my God, yeah, make it a squash. Make it like 3-4 minutes. Give him a little bit. You think less?
Throw a punch, choke him out in the sleeper.
Chop. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, who knows? And then I think Tiffany and Charlotte is going to be good. I think that it is going to be good. But I do agree that Brock Kofi squash style, man, if only.
I'm thinking more Sheamus Bryanson squash style
Bryanson.
than Danielson.
Yeah. So Daniel Bryanson versus Dan Malenko. It would be a banger of a match, by the way. That's the match that I want to see. That's my dream match. Dan Malenko versus Brian Dragonson. Yes.
Brian Dragonson.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. There was the video from the house show circuit where Punk got chopped by Gunther and he was tapping out. It was like, my word. Yeah. So the build to Tiffany and Charlotte has just been it's poor Tiffany.
Not been good.
Poor Tiffany. So here's my question. I was going to bring this up. What? People weren't complaining about Drew and Rollins not main eventing, so why are we having people complaining about Jey Uso not main eventing?
It depends on the year.
Drew
depends on the year.
Yeah, it does.
Everyone's got a reason to complain about something every WrestleMania.
I see you, Mindy. I see you. Yeah, there's always going to be and you know what? I'm just going to say it. I'm going to be the one to say it because I am the OTP. I am the one true prodigy. Let me get close so everyone can fully understand. John Cena is right. John Cena's right. The fans are awful.
Yeah.
They're always going to be complaining, and it doesn't matter what they do. The fans are going to be complaining about it. And I understand this is a pot kettle situation because I'm complaining about people complaining. And I think to be fair, I have seen more people complaining about people complaining.
As we're complaining about people complaining.
Yes. That's what I don't get, man. That's what I don't get. I don't know. Wrestling fans, they can complain all they want because at the end of the day, these are the decisions that we're going to make and we'll do it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. That was a bad Triple H. I'm sorry about that one.
Take a bump.
Take a bump. Your wife, home alone. What's she doing? Don't know. Husband, home alone. What's he doing? Don't know. Big man, you want to get laid? I know.
Take a bump.
I don't know what's going on. Look, I'm going off the rails here. I'm jumping the rail and then going off of it. So, Matters, what do you say we pay some bills? And then we'll come back with a little bit more discussion. I think we cover some AEW Dynasty.
All right.
Let's do it. Man. Look at all those great shirts. You can check those all out. You got to go buy a shirt.
I buy them all.
Speaking of really good shirts, shout out to Mad Bash Wrestling. They've got some quality merchandise.
Available on a merch stand near you.
Yeah, available at a merch stand near you. You can get a Venom Energy drink at a Mad Bash Wrestling merch stand. So Madrox.
Matters.
Matters. Look, Reb kept doing it when they did Spot Show, so it's fine.
Too much Venom.
Yeah, too much Venom. I love how many times I've broken the fourth wall on this. I don't care.
We jumped the rails, brother.
Jumping the rail and jumping the gun. Here's the thing. WWE is not the only major wrestling company in the United States. And we're going to talk about the other major wrestling company.
The other big one?
In the United States. Yeah, the biggest company in the United States. If
JCW, baby.
JC Dub. Let's go. Now we're talking about AEW. And they got a show coming up. Yeah, that one. They got a show coming up here. What's the 6th? Is that a Sunday? Are they doing it on Sunday? It's a Sunday pay-per-view. That's how little I pay attention. I don't know. AEW Dynasty is coming up live on pay-per-view from they're going to be in Philly. How perfect. We tied it all together. You got Sandman going into the Hall of Fame. Look at this man. Here's what everyone needs to do. Here's what everyone needs to do when you're done, right? When we sign off here in a little bit. You got homework. You have homework. Go watch some WCW hardcore. And thank me later.
Pre-Norman Smiley.
No, Norman Smiley's got to be there, brother.
Pre-Norman Smiley.
Is it too late to put Norman Smiley in the JTR Hall of Fame?
You got to watch it when they had to start the matches in the backstage and work their way to the ring.
Yeah, brother, they did. We're not making this up. We are not making this up. But yeah, AEW Dynasty, they are coming up on Sunday, April 6th. ECW, no, I'm talking WCW hardcore. Like whenever WCW had their hardcore division, it's the greatest wrestling you'll ever watch in your entire life.
Brian Knobbs and Fit Finley.
Yes. That should main event WrestleMania. I'm telling you, I would put Finley versus Brian Knobbs. Hardcore invitation. There you go.
No, they're better as a tag team.
Yeah.
They're the original Shield with their little bulletproof vests and their New Jack camo pants.
Yeah. We're really doing some deep cuts here on this one. Look, they wanted this. I'm telling you. This whole April Fool's was my idea.
Now we're getting
But look, here's the thing. AEW Dynasty, I'm going to throw to this for the third time. I'm going to try to, is coming up Sunday, April 6th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's run down. So far, according to the wiki, I almost said the quickie. I've been watching a lot of Chris Chan stuff lately. No one gets that. There's 6 matches that have been announced so far, but knowing old TK, we're probably going to double or triple those matches. Shout out to John Cena. Yeah, and the pre-show. Shout out to John Cena, by the way, for that little jab that he threw about AEW on Raw. Did you see this?
I did.
He was talking about, he's like, I'm going to butcher exactly what he said.
I think I got it.
Yeah. And he...
I make billionaires you steal from their kids.
Yes, that's essentially what it was. Add at least 6 more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's going to be upwards of... Oh, Bash at the Beach 99. Brother, I'm all about that. You know what I mean? I just got a message from the person I matched with on Tinder. Forgot we're live. We can't edit.
What are we doing here?
What we doing? Frankie the Frog Cook. This is what happens when I have to record past 9 or 7:30. So let's run down these fucking matches. I've been trying to get to it for 5 goddamn minutes. Yeah, so we're gonna start. Thank you. We're gonna do this first one here. TNT Championship. We got Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole, baby. Who you got?
I gotta go with Adam Cole.
Oh, Adam Cole.
I mean, you got the TNT Dynamite. Boom. It all makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, plus Adam Cole's really going through it a lot lately. He lost Britt Baker, so give him a championship.
So did AEW apparently.
Yeah, so did, yeah. So they get it. They get it. Boy, it really, seems like that people can't get out of AEW fast enough. Certain people, I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, I think this could be a good one.
Pillars.
I've always been a fan of Adam Cole. I think that he finally deserves his time to shine. Because, I mean, honestly, what has he done in AEW? I mean, the last good thing he did was when him and MJF had the match at Wembley. And since then, it's just, I mean, I know he's been, plagued with injuries and all that other stuff. But, and then the thing with Daniel Garcia, remember when he was the hotness there for a bit? Like all these, like, I don't even remember what the initial move on it was, but then like people were like, "Oh, Daniel Garcia, he's the fucking best." He's still solid.
Dance. That stupid dance.
I can't do it.
His Fandango moment.
Fandango. Yeah, so that's match number 1 that we got here. This next match, I think, is something. This is one of my major issues with AEW because there's too much cross-pollination. You picked up on my wavelength there, thank God. We got ROH World Title versus Mask, Chris Jericho versus Bandito. Who you got?
Bandito.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way he's taking the mask off. This is the problem, right?
Just so Jericho can count to 10 in Spanish. Come on now.
Yes, this is the problem. ROH and AEW are too similar. Brother, they're too similar. Why can't we separate them? Like, why can't we
tried that?
separate?
It lasted like 2 weeks.
I mean, I don't get. I mean, there's too much cross-pollination going on here. Like, I get
There's
it.
too many damn titles.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that you just get so confused. It's like, man, Tony shouldn't book both shows. That's kind of
Tony shouldn't book a show. Let's be honest here.
That's fair. Yeah. I think this is one of those matches where you kind of look at it and you're like, well, there's no way he's taking the mask off. He's just not. I don't see a reality where he like that. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Tony Khan. What was it? The one, there you go. Look at him. He just has, dude. What is it
he
about
just has
Tony
a
Khan?
face you want to beat.
Thank you. I didn't want to threaten violence on Tony Khan live on the Jumping the Rail podcast, but you did. Not that you threatened it, but you just made a comparison. Let's just keep chugging on right along here. You want to talk about too many titles? We got trios championship action going on here. We have got the Death Riders of Claudio Castagnoli versus, he's with Pac and Wheeler Yuta versus Rated FTR. That's Cope, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood. Punchable face. Yes, thank you. What do you got here? On
This is my who cares match. Like, neither of them do anything for me.
Man,
at this point, it's probably just to get a title on Cope. But at the same time, like, the Death Riders, like, what do they need?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Death Riders story has really jumped the shark. They've been dragging it out way too long. Just get it over with. You know what I mean? And let's just keep bashing Tony Khan. Let's just do it. I'll go 2 hours more bashing Tony Khan. Here's the thing. Okay, let's get on a soapbox here. I used to be an AEW apologist. I used to always be like, well, it's really, if you think it's an alternative, and it's all this and it's all that. I am officially saying no more. Let's stop it. I do not want to see AEW go out of business. Simply do not want to see that. I don't want to see any company go out of business unless you listen to Paid Show and you hear me mention a couple, or hear Dickie Wabash mention a couple. But patreon.com/MadBashStudios. I don't want to see AEW go under. And I think the problem the problem with Tony Khan is that he's someone who has never properly been told no. And he's in the position now where he's not being told no. And I think Cody Rhodes was the one that wrangled him a little bit. And now he's got no one. And I think Punk tried to wrangle him, and that's why they butted heads so much. Paid Show is the bomb. With you. Yeah. $5. Just $5. That's less than a cup of coffee a month. And then here's the thing. For another $5, you can support Jumping the Rail on Patreon. 2 of the best podcast networks in the Midwest. Just throwing that out there. Debate is still out there if our April Fool's joke worked or not. Let's keep going. I think it's funny. Let's keep going on here now with another match. Let's see which one gets popped up here that we can talk about from AEW Dynasty. Really at the mercy of women's championship match. We got Toni Storm versus Megan Bayne. Listen.
Toni Storm.
Don't take the belt off Toni Storm. Make Toni Storm a forever champion. Toni Storm is the greatest character in professional wrestling right now. I stand by this. Toni Storm is easily one of my, not even women's wrestler, male wrestler in general, one of the best things going in professional wrestling today, and I stand 10 toes down on that.
I don't even have 10 toes, but I'm with you.
Yeah, it's true. They haven't ruined Megan yet, but give TK time. Yeah.
2 weeks.
That's a good point. Yeah, 2 weeks. I mean, that's the problem here, is that does this hurt Megan Bayne going under? I think it's going to hurt anyone because, I mean, she's still kind of on the rise. You know, they did rush it a little bit, whatever. But I am worried that lose a little bit of steam because I think there's no way that Toni Storm walks out without the title. I really don't. I mean, she's so good. I saw a TikTok the other day that was a compilation of like all the recent Toni Storm moments. She's so good. She just makes me so entertaining. Or she makes me so entertained, rather. Best promo in the company, simply put. It's what she is. I saw someone not too long ago. Why couldn't they have put Megan going after Monet? Don't even get me started.
Megan's got that Hogan clause.
Is that true or was that a rumor?
Yeah. At this point, who cares?
That doesn't work for me, brother. I'm not your mom, dude. I'm a
what else could there be?
Hater from way back. Yeah, Toni Storm is just, I think that she's riding too much of a wave of momentum to really to lose the belt. So we'll absolutely see. So all right, let's keep going on here. What you got next for me? What you got next lined up? We got the AEW International Championship, aka the All Atlantic Championship, aka the AEW US Championship, aka whatever else it has been called. We've got Kenny Omega, the champion, defending against Ricochet, defending against Speedball Mike Bailey. Kenny Omega. He's the.
I'm gonna go with Ricochet.
You know, I'm gonna backpedal. I'm gonna say Ricochet. I think they've been doing a really good job of booking Ricochet in a hateable enough role that if he wins it, but you know, we were talking about it earlier with Jey Uso. Ricochet is going to be getting that. He's getting that go home heat, brother. And
that's fine though, but at the same time, Kenny doesn't need the championship.
No, he really doesn't. I think that
title could build Ricochet more.
Yeah,
and Speedball, he's just there. Like, why?
Yeah,
I'm not a Speedball guy.
I've never really have been a Speedball Mike Bailey guy. I mean, I'm not disparaging him. He's just not my cup of tea. Yeah,
he's an indie darling.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, it matters. You have a rule. Don't you forgot about your rule?
What's my rule?
The multi-man match, champ wins.
Oh yeah, that
You
is
saying
very
that's not the
true.
case? You saying that's not the case?
Well, look, I might go fucking Madrox right now. Okay, that's not the
No,
case.
you're not. You're matters. Oh man, matters law. Matters law.
Matters law.
All right, brother. Let's get to hang on. Where we go, guys. Here, I figured Ricochet is there to take the pin. Omega just got the belt, and Speedball just got there. Very, very good summation there. Very good summation.
TK logic.
I have to agree with you. That is TK logic, but that's good logic, though. You can't. Now hold on,
actually, dude. TK logic would be Kenny Omega jobs down to Speedball Mike Bailey while Ricochet's bleeding in the corner. That would be TK logic.
Yeah, and then they bring out a spiked bat. Kenny Omega does a one-winged angel onto the spiked bat. Meanwhile, Aubrey Edwards is there.
The fans are throwing toilet paper in the ring. Yeah, the 100%. Fans will be throwing toilet paper to clean up the blood. Yeah. Then the sound guy comes in and wins in the 24/7 role.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Brandon Cutler, whatever his name was, Chris Cutler. Yeah, the Mad Bash Wrestling champion. That old Toronto toothbrush, brother. We're gonna see that. I don't want to talk about that. It's because I hate it so fucking much. Why did they do that? What is wrong with John? Okay, we're gonna get into Mox here in a second because we got our main event. What I'm assuming is the main event of the evening. Why would it not be? We have got singles match. AEW World Championship. We got Jon Moxley versus Swerve When I Drive. Swerve When I Drive. Cut that part out. Can't cut it up. We're live. What do you think, man? This is a tough one. I think that the trios match is really going to dictate what the outcome of this match is going to be.
I'm a complete opposite because nothing makes sense and ties into anything in AEW. So Swerve Strickland's going to win. Then Mox is going to come back in a week and win the title back. Then out of the blue, there's going to be a new challenger. Hell, it might even be Sky Blue. And she's going to come up and win the title.
You heard it here first, folks. Sky Blue is going to be the AEW World Champion by the end of the month.
And then somebody's going to get injured, and they're going to throw up a tournament, and the tournament's going to make no sense. And then somehow, Kenny Omega is going to be the champion.
Now hold on, dude. First, you got to do the tournament to get into the tournament.
Yes.
You got to win the losers bracket to get into the round robin so that you can then enter the G1 climax. And then you got to go over to New Japan and you got to win one of their titles. And then you
go down to AAA.
And then you have to wrestle Eddie Kingston. And then once you beat Eddie Kingston, here comes Orange Cassidy. The fucked up part about all of that is I can see it happening.
Absolutely, dude.
You
just forgot the 2 battle royals in there.
I did forget. I forgot about the battle royal. Selfishly, I want Swerve to have it when he is at Squared Circle. Yes, I agree. That would be really cool. Swerve When I Drive.
Selfishly, I want Kevin Thorne to appear at a random Rampage again as a lumberjack in a match that made no damn sense. And
why did no one talk about that when Kevin Thorne was just randomly a lumberjack for no reason at all? No one talked about this. We were the only
what even mentioned on commentary?
No, we were the only people. That's like Von Wagner showing up as a security guard. Like, what are we doing? I love it. Oh, professional wrestling is great. I love it while also hating it at the exact time. I don't know, man. This pay-per-view, it has potential to be pretty solid. Let's see if AEW can right the ship. I don't want them to fail. I've talked about that even just tonight. I don't want them to fail. So hopefully this pay-per-view can be something good. so that maybe they can get salvageable is a good way to put it, so they can get back on the right track. But yeah, so matters. We got something that I actually wanted to talk about earlier, but I kind of forgot, and I got given the Iggy to talk about it. We were talking about Hall of Fames earlier.
Yes.
And, Sandman, congratulations, newest inductee into the extreme wing of the JTR Hall of Fame. Shout out to the GOAT. There's a new development going on in Hall of Fame land.
Talking about the matches?
I'm talking about WWE is now inducting matches into the Hall of Fame. And they are going with Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, the submission match from WrestleMania 13. They're calling it Immortal Moments. So that makes me wonder, are we putting moments, are we putting moments into the Hall of Fame, or are we putting matches into the Hall of Fame? So just for the sake of this conversation, let's just say matches.
It's got to be matches.
Yeah, because if we're doing moments, we got to put John Cena roasting that Belgian kid in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That was goated. Or wherever they were. I think they were in Germany. I don't remember Belgium. I don't remember.
Europe.
Yeah, they were somewhere in Europe. That is a match riddled with moment. I mean, how can you... That match... Everyone talks about Austin 316 says, I just whipped your ass. They talked about that promo.
Yes.
But I don't
see that's a moment.
Yeah. It was in Brussels. That's a moment. That match, though, I put Austin locked in the sharpshooter, blood running down his face. I put that up there as making Stone Cold as much as I put the Austin 316. So that's why this match is so good. I just watched this match not too long ago, actually. So it's ironic that
they're up on a t-shirt. That's how you can judge stuff. If it sells on a t-shirt and continues to sell, there's your moment.
There's an underlying theme that has been going on through this, and I feel like that absolutely that was the moment that made him a babyface. And then Brett, it was the double turn. It was the double turn. T-shirts, right? We've been talking about T-shirts. We talked about Jey Uso selling the Yeet T-shirts, the Austin 316, and then the blood one. This wonderful Mad Bash Wrestling T-shirt that you can get at a merch stand near you. Any of the JTR Podcast Network shirts that you can get on ProWrestlingTees.com/JTR. That's what a lot of it is like. The shirt of it. I had a point, and I'm going to be honest, brother. I completely lost it, and I was hoping that if I kept talking, I would find it again. But
it's past your podcast time, sir.
It is. I'm already. It's almost my bedtime. So anyway, to rebound here, let's just say this. If you were in charge, scary thought. If you were in charge, they come to you and they say, Matters, you get to pick the next match that is inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame for 2026. What are you picking?
Personally, I'm going to have to go with Chris Kanyon versus Perry Saturn from Great American Bash 1998.
Hey, if you wanted to hear people talk about that, where could you hear that?
You can find that at the Spot Show Podcast or at Mad Bash Studios or patreon.com/Mad Bash Studios, madbashstudios.com. Everywhere you can find Mad Bash Studios.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Mad Bash did an episode of their show Untitled Wrestling Commentary on that match that you can find exclusively on the $5 tier on Patreon. But no, in all seriousness, though, even though that match is good, if no one has seen that match, you should definitely go watch it, especially with
definitely go check it out.
Michael Madrox's commentary. What match are you putting in? Because I've got mine.
That's a tough one, man. It's not a good match, but just for being so iconic in history, I'm gonna have to go with Hogan Warrior at WrestleMania, man.
Good one. Good one. And here's what I'm wondering, because my match is from WrestleMania. So, I mean, this really is a moot point. I wonder if they have to be WrestleMania matches. Like if they can be like, Cena and Punk from Money in the Bank or something.
Yeah, like something off the wall.
Yeah, that's not off the wall.
Cena Punk on Monday Night Raw.
That's better than the Money in the Bank match, I would say.
Yep.
I would say that's better than the Money in the Bank. So this is where it's tough because I have a match, but then it made me think, which one of this match do I put? Because there was a rematch. You got to go Shawn Taker.
Yeah.
But what one? Do you do 25 or 26?
Yeah, you got 25.
25 is the better wrestling match, but 26 was better.
Oh, a better story.
The stakes. It was a better story.
Yeah.
I agree. But my choice, I would go with that. I mean, that match, probably my all-time favorite wrestling match. Not just in WWE, but in general, one of my all-time favorite wrestling matches. My joke answer would be Sabu versus Sandman in that Stairway to Heaven match or whatever the one was. Shawn chasing Taker going into 26. Man, that video hype package going into that match is one of the best video hype packages that they ever released. Now that WWE Home Video is no longer around, this doesn't make any sense, but Christian Rhodes said years ago in a tweet, he was like, WWE needs to release a 3-disc set that is the best of vignettes. And I'd be like, yes, 100%.
Absolutely.
HBK versus Flair at WrestleMania 24. I'm sorry. I love you. WrestleMania 24 is an underrated Mania, by the way. If you guys haven't gone back and rewatched that one, that's a solid Mania.
See, but that match was okay. So would you classify that as a match going in or a moment going in? What's more iconic? Did the moment outlive the match?
Well, now hold on, dude. The match itself is incredible.
Yes.
Don't besmirch that match because it's good.
But I'm just saying, is the moment though more important than the match now?
Bradshaw chucking the trash can at Hornswoggle is that moment is going into the Hall of Fame next year. If we're talking just moments, we're gonna put Bradshaw chucking the trash can at Hornswoggle. Oh, poor Dylan. I just named Hornswoggle. I've never met the guy. I was almost in a movie with Hornswoggle. That's a true story.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the thing though. I think that Flair and Michaels had the mixture. It had the moment, it had the match, it had it all. And then the story that came after it of where Michaels and Batista went into their weird feud because he was like, you said you didn't want to do it, but boy, you sure went out there balls to the wall and you were moonsaulting on motherfuckers and all this other stuff, which you forget that I want to go back and rewatch this. Sorry. My brain is having a conversation with itself, and I'm assuming that you guys know what's going on here. I just remembered the stretcher match, Batista versus Shawn Michaels. That was because of Batista wanted to get revenge for Flair.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. What a weird time period. What a very weird time period. Oh, yes. Okay. I was going to bring this point up about if it doesn't have to be a WrestleMania match. Mindy knows what she's talking about here. Says if it doesn't have to be a WrestleMania, Taker and Mankind in the Hell in a Cell, that's first round Hall of Fame match. Cool. Way to leave me hanging. That is.
You're lagging out on my end.
Oh, well, fuck it. The Undertaker Mankind Hell in a Cell match, I think, is always going to be in the conversation for
moments.
For a moment, yeah.
2 moments. The rest
It
of the
was
match, no one
Roman and-
remembers.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We're going to start to be wrapping up here soon. But since we're on the topic of non-WrestleMania matches, why don't you throw me a non-WrestleMania match that you would like to see in the Hall of Fame?
Let's go JBL and Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, brother. I didn't even think about that, man. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That bloodbath.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
Gangrel needed.
Bulldog versus Owen in Germany. Another good choice. If we're talking non-Mania matches, Mindy already said Hell in a Cell, so I don't want to piggyback off what she said, but I'm gonna go. I said it earlier. I'm gonna say Punk and Cena from Money in the Bank. I think that one, because that's the moment, that's the story, and especially because we're all on a big Punk hype train lately, talking about how he's making his dreams come true, all this, whatever. That would be the perfect one to do next year, because Cena will be retired. Punk will still be doing it. Yeah. Oh, Shane versus Kurt, King of the Ring street fight. Oh, there's so many good ones.
There's so many good matches.
If we were going to list all the deserving matches, we would be here for another hour. But matters, I feel like it's about that time that we wrap up here. But before we do, I got a plug that I got to throw out here real quick, because as you know, JTR Podcast Network insinuates that there are other shows, and you would be correct. There are other shows. Let's talk about Indie Shootout. That's tomorrow, by the way. That's going to be tomorrow.
That is tomorrow.
The guest, DeCobra.
Whatever's tattoo spelled wrong.
DeCobra. Question number 1 needs to be, is your tattoo spelled wrong?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for that one. Motherfucking Kane. Yeah. Cobra's going to be on Indie Wrestling Shootout. That's going to be a good one. Cobra is one of the best wrestlers in the Midwest. I have known Cobra going on 13 years at this point. So it's always good to see Cobra get his flowers. He really is the man. That's going to be an interesting interview. You guys are not going to want to miss that. Oh, Cobra's working Rhino? Man, that's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. I really like Rhino. But all right. Well, I think it's time that we wrap up here. I think thank you everyone for watching. Matters. Of course, it's always a pleasure to sit down and talk to you. The pleasure
every week.
The every week here on Jumping the Rail. So yeah, until next time, I have been Richard Wobman. That is Matters, reminding you all, life is hard, work stiff, and happy April Fool's Day.
Thanks, guys.